Hello dear student, this is Rajwan Singh and today I am going to explain the chapter 3rd in SST history of class 7. So my dear student, welcome to my channel and I am going to explain some remaining parts that is left in the previous video. So, dear student, let's start. See, I have told you some important points in the history that you know very well. Turkish rule in India, the Mamluk dynasty, Iltutmish, Razia Sultan, Nasiruddin Mahmud. These topics I have explained in the previous video, and further we have to discuss about this. And my dear student, you have to be very careful for this. So let's start. Continue. Razia was succeeded by her brother Nasiruddin Mahmud. I have told you already that Razia was a very brave ruler and she was succeeded by her brother Nasiruddin Mahmud, and he died in 1266 and was succeeded by Ghiyasuddin Balban. Ghiyasuddin Balban, his prime minister and a former member of the Chahalgani. Dear student, after ascending the throne, Balban faced opposition from the Turkish chiefs who wanted someone of their choice. So he has to struggle for this because someone of their choice to occupy the throne, and with a view of suppressing them, he sought to centralize all power and authority to the people in his own hands. So, dear student, his policy is called the policy of blood and iron. Blood and iron is his main policy, and this is very famous in the history. So, dear student, adopting this policy, he laid the foundation of a centralized government and asserted the need for noble, virgin and prestige of the monarchy. And in further points, Balban is also credited with having established an efficient spy system to keep himself informed. My dear student, you have to know this and ensure the loyalty of the peoples toward the throne. The Ganga Jamuna Doab was cleared of all robbers. Similarly, the Mewatis, who often plundered Delhi, were suppressed ruthlessly. Balban also started the Persian customs of Sejda and Payboj, intended to show loyalty towards the Sultan. He took important measures to ensure impartiality in the administration of justice. So, my dear student, during his reign, the powerful group of Chehalgani nobles was completely broken. It was completely broken. So, dear student, in all, Balban strengthened the Delhi Sultanate. In particular, its form of government and institutions, thereby paving the way for its expansion. Balban has issued some coins. So, dear student, the next point, the Khalji dynasty and the ruling time of this ruler is 1290 to 1320 CE. Ghiyasuddin Balban died in 1287 CE. My dear student, his successors were too weak and incompetent to carry forward his legacy. In 1290 CE, a noble named Jalaluddin Khalji killed Balban's grandson Kaikubad and established the Khalji dynasty. The end of Turkish rule by Jalaluddin Khalji, a man of non-Turkish origin, is referred to as the Khalji Revolution. So, dear student, Jalaluddin Khalji suppressed the revolts of Balban's successors and overcame the external threat of Mongols. You have heard the name of Mongols. Mongols rulers, Mongols king. So, his brief rule was based on the participation of the people in the process of government to governance and tolerance towards different religious communities. And I think the next point, Alauddin Khilji, and its ruling time is 1296 to 1316 CE. Jalaluddin Khalji was killed and succeeded by his nephew and son-in-law Alauddin Khilji. Alauddin was ambitious. I think you have heard the story of this. He was very ambitious. He established a vast empire in India by conquering Gujarat. So, dear student, Malwa and parts of Rajasthan, he had great administrative skills and military genius. His first military campaign against Gujarat enabled him to have an access to its ports and overseas trade. So, dear student, he also undertook military campaigns to conquer this. And Ranthambore, Chittor, Malwa, and Jalore in Rajasthan. He sent his trusted commander. He sent his trusted commanders to Malik Kafur to acquire control of the Deccan and thus became the first Delhi Sultan to cross the Vindhya region. So, my dear student, the fabulous wealth that his Deccan campaign earned him drew the Sultan to the south, and this is the very important fact. My dear student, Malik Kafur was entrusted the charge of all southern campaigns by 1313 CE, the Yadavas of Devagiri, the Kakatiyas of Warangal, the Hoyals of Dwaira Samudra, and the Pandyas of Madurai accepted the overlordship of Alauddin in Delhi. So, dear student, in Delhi he built the famous Alai Darwaza. In the Qutub Minar complex to commemorate his Deccan conquests. My dear student, Moroccan traveler Ibn Battuta, who visited the Indian subcontinent around his time, says that Alauddin ruled almost the entire country for a brief period of time with Malik Kafur as his vice regent. You can say deputy. So, dear student, the Tughlaq dynasty, a case study, the next point that you have to know. Dear student, Ghayasuddin Tughlaq and the ruling time of Ghayasuddin Tughlaq is 1000 1322 25 CE. And dear student, Alauddin Khalji died in 1316 CE. His death was followed by a brief period of political interest. My dear student, in 1320 CE, the last Khalji ruler Khusro Khan was killed by Ghayasuddin Tughlaq, an able statesman and administrator, Ghayasuddin Tughlaq led the foundation of a new dynasty. My dear student, that dynasty is called the Tughlaq dynasty. That dynasty is called Tughlaq dynasty. He believed that the state should be based on the support of the people. This is his thinking. And dear student, he carried out many works of public utility and built the famous Tughalqabad fort in Delhi. He died in 1324 CE. He was succeeded by his son Juna Khan, who assumed the name Muhammad bin Tughlaq after becoming the Sultan. So, dear student, this is enough for today, and I hope this is clear to you all, and we will meet in the next video. Thank you. Have a nice day.